Hi friends, it's Sarah Millerhouse here, and I'm excited to share a new layout with you today using the March Color Kitz. So I am going to be starting this layout. This is a stencil from Pear Tree Cutfiles, and I am using texture paste. So this is Ranger's texture paste, and I am just going through, this is just a bunch of random dots, and so I am adding that in the background. And I did tape it down. I'm using Vicki Boutin's Foundations Mixed Media cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and set that off to dry. And then there were 2 cut files with the March Color Kitz this month. And so there were 2 beautiful flowers. And I cut both of those and then also made backing pieces for both of those. So the top layer, the layer that you get when you get the cut file, I'm leaving that white. And then I used the contour tool in the Cricut software to create a solid piece to go behind it. And that is what I am using. And this is the Loose Lips Pink Ships. Loose Lips Pink Ships Inklings. And it does come dry, and then I've already used these, so mine were already a little bit wet. I did add a little bit more water, so it came dry, and then you just add water to activate all of that great color and all of that shimmer. And then the color that I'm putting on top is a Creamies, also comes dry, and you add the water, and that is Paradise Punch. So both of these are from the March Color Kitz. So I am adding, I did the lighter pink in the back, and then I'm adding that darker purpley pink. It's a beautiful color. And I'm layering on some more lighter pink, the Loose Lips. And I'm just kind of trying to make that look like the center of a flower. It doesn't look like anything right now, but once I get the cut file on it, it makes the main piece of the cut file on it makes more sense. And then I am using the Vibes Ocean Water. This is also from the March Color Kitz to paint those leaves. So there are leaves with one of the cut files. I cut both of them twice. And then here you can see that white part is what you get when you download the cut file. And I just used a very little bit of glue because I am going to kind of fold it up a little bit. So just a touch of glue. And I use Scotch Tacky Glue in my fine liner bottle here. And glued those all together. And then now that this has sat off to dry, it's ready to be painted. So I am going to be using the colors from the March kit. So this is the same one that I used for the leaves. And so again, that's the Vibes Ocean Water. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful color. It's almost like a deep turquoise. It's the most beautiful color. So one of my favorites that I've worked with. And then also this Paradise Punch is beautiful. So a bright, bold, purpley pink, or pinky purple, I guess. It's really a purple. It's a beautiful color. So here what I did is you saw I kind of sprayed at the top for the green, and then added a little bit of water to let it run down. Same thing with the Paradise Punch. And now I'm adding the Loose Lips Pink Ships. And again, also adding some water. And I'm totally okay that they're kind of blending a little bit. I really wanted them to blend a little bit, not too much. I didn't want the colors to mix. I definitely wanted the colors to be their own distinct stripe of color here, but I did want them to blend just a touch. So I added the water. And you can see like that lighter color pink is kind of mixing in a little bit with the purple. And as it's running down the page, I do dry off. I kind of sit it flat, and then I'll pick it up to let it run down. And then I do kind of blot off a little bit of that excess water just because I didn't want it to run off the edge of the page. I wanted the edge of the page to stay white. So you can see there. Just using a paper towel to kind of blot off that excess liquid. And that's just water I have in a spray bottle that I keep putting on there. I am going to get kind of a clean paper towel now and blot off some of that color. Now I'm gonna go back and add more color. I was kind of trying to blot off just the liquid, but it picked up some of the color off of the paper because it wasn't dry enough yet. So just went back and added a little touch more of that. And I am going to be covering up the left side. I know that in my mind what this layout's going to look like. It's kind of, right now it just looks like a bunch of color that's askew set off to the right here, but I'm going to be covering that left edge with patterned paper. So that's why I'm kind of adding the splatters and kind of finishing the look more on the right side. And I love in the center where those pinks and purples mixed. I absolutely love how that looks. And then where the green and purple mixed, it almost looks like there's like a navy, kind of a darker purple navy color. It's beautiful how it mixed. So I wasn't expecting that to mix really well, but it did. I love those colors together. Okay, so here I just tore off strips of patterned paper from the Blooming Wild collection. That's Paige Evans' new collection. And I just tore off some strips of color that look really good, or strips of patterned paper that look really good with the colors in the color kit. And then I did do a torn edge, and then I just roughed it up with my Tim Holtz edge distresser. And I'm just gonna kind of layer those pieces of paper there. And you can see I did kind of a more solid pattern, then I did that beautiful stripe pattern, and then I did a more solid pattern again. So that does help if you're using lots of patterns together to kind of have one that's a little bit more solid, even though it's still got a lot of color and pattern, and then one that's not. Okay, and here I'm pulling some flowers from the Blooming Wild collection. I'm also going to end up pulling some flowers from the Print Shop collection, and then just some flowers from my stash. So most of the flowers came from Blooming Wild. So in my mind, I'm just kind of, this is going to be set off to the left side of that layout. It's still drying. That's why I'm not doing it on top of it yet. Here it's dried enough, so I'm going to go ahead and add some wet adhesive to that, because I do have that texture paste and then those shimmery mediums, so I did add some wet glue to make sure it's good and stuck down. And then now you're going to kind of get the general idea of how the layout's gonna go. So then here I'm pulling a bunch of flowers from the Print Shop collection. And I love how those flowers look with the colors in the color kit. I am adding craft foam as I am adhering down those flowers and kind of building the cascade of flowers down the page. I am going to add several different kinds of craft foam so that they're different thicknesses. And those flowers that I painted that were the cut file, they are so beautiful and shimmery. You can kind of see that they're kind of hard to see in the video just because they're picking up, I have a light above my table, and so they're picking up the light with all of that shimmer. So they are beautiful. And definitely on the final, like in real life, they catch all of that light and the color. It's beautiful. So here I'm kind of separating those with other colors as it goes down the page. I love how oranges or corals look with purples and greens and turquoises, so that's why I picked some of these flowers. And then also the mustard yellow looks really good with the colors too. That purple flower there from Blooming Wild is like the exact color of the Paradise Punch. So that was almost like a perfect match. the Blooming Wild collection has all of the colors from the Color Kitz this month in it. So it's a great, if you did not buy the paper kits are the best match for sure. That's what I used for my last layout. But if you did not purchase those this time, the colors in this collection look good with it. Okay, so here, sometimes I cut out a little bit of the building of the floral clusters and things, but this time I did leave in this part. So what I'm doing here is I'm going back and adding leaves. And the reason I left this in is because it is important to see some of the colors blended, because I used the same colors on the background as I used for the flowers. It could get lost, the flowers could get lost on top of that background. So what I am doing here to make sure that my flowers do not get lost is I am adding leaves in contrasting colors, like this dark navy right here that I'm adding. That's a dark navy leaf. So I'm adding that just to make sure that the layers, the layers of flowers don't get lost on that background, because I've got so much shimmer and color back there as well. So the greens, I did pull out leaves from, those are almost all from the print shop collection, I think. And there's some turquoisey ones and some green ones, but they're enough of a contrast from the background that they help. See, you can see what that does there. So now the flowers stand out from that turquoise part on the background, or the green part. So I'm going to kind of go and add those all the way down the page, and it definitely helps look more like bouquets or foliage. And I like the leaves to go different directions, so I don't have all the leaves going off to the left side or at a left angle. I kind of try to make sure the leaves are sticking out in different directions, and I always hold up the edges of the leaves and the flowers, so the petals and things. Okay, so here I've pulled another patterned paper to back my photos. So these photos are from our family beach week this past summer. So summer of 2022. And that is, my husband is in the center, and then our dads are there, and my babies are in front. So it's my husband, the grandpas, and the kids. I love this. I love that photo, and I love the colors in the photo, like the color of my daughter's dress with the colors in the Color Kitz. Love all of that. So here what I'm doing is I'm adding some craft foam to the word moments, and I'm going to add that down there. And my photo, you saw me play with the placement of the photo. I was trying not to cover up where that light pink and that purple blend right above the photo. I loved that section of the background, and I didn't want to cover it up. So I did definitely decide where my photo was originally going to go kind of in the center, or like in the top to bottom center. But then I ended up not being able to do that because I didn't want to cover up that part of the background. That sounds kind of silly, but it's okay. And then the title, I did add those little letters those are from a past Paige Evans collection, the ones that I glued on top of the photo. And then that little word happy is from Blooming Wild. So the title says Happy Sweet Summer Moments. So here I'm going back and adding some shiny bits to the centers of the flowers, just to pick up on some of that sparkle. And I'm using my We Are Memories Keepers craft stick because it helps me pick up all of those little things. And then these are pops of color from scrapbook.com, liquid pearls, and Nuvo drops to add some detailing to the center of both the the floral ephemera and then also the cutfile flowers that I cut. So that color from scrapbook.com is a perfect match for that Paradise Punch. It's beautiful. So here are some close-ups so you can see, hopefully you can tell the shimmer of those flowers and then also the background. And I love how the texture paste behind the shimmers definitely just add another little textural element there. And then there's the still photos. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. You can tap the bell for notifications and like and subscribe. And also, if you have any questions, be sure and ask in the comments below. I'll answer them. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye for now.